Welcome to the MCM Sports Show with Brian Rose
and Abel Tovar.
That's right. We are live this week, everybody. We are live coming from the Locker Room Barber Shop in Campbell, California, 2050 South Bascom Avenue. So, what's up, man? How you been? Man?
Can't complain. Had an awesome Vegas trip this weekend.
I heard.
Still recovering, so
yeah. I saw
it took a lot to get out here.
I saw the pictures. I'm actually jealous. You wait till I get married to have fun like that.
What? That's your bad, not mine. Get a divorce like me.
Twice. Here we go. So our first segment is what everybody's talking about, brought to you by Motor Club of America. Real company helping to change the lives of real people, MCA. Turn $40 into $100 or more weekly. Watch this quick video at the bottom. Type in your contact information and get the information from that video. So we have 4 weeks and counting to the regular season starts. We're going to break down 2 divisions per week till we get to the regular season. So we're going to start with the NFC West breakdown and start with the local team, of course, San Francisco 49ers. So last year, I think they overachieved with the new coach. Of course, you would say they didn't overachieve, but
no, I agree. I agree they overachieved. I didn't expect it. I got season tickets for cheap because I didn't expect them to do much. So,
and you can't get season tickets this year. It's sold out in like a couple weeks.
I already got them.
Yeah, all the bandwagon fans. That's what Bay Area is full of bandwagons. But 183 yards passing yards, 29th overall last year, 127 rushing yards per game, 8th overall. This kind of surprised me. 230 yards opponents passing, which is 16th overall. All that talk about the defense is still we're 16th in the league in the pass defense. But here's the big kicker with the front 7. They were first in rush defense. Which is
exactly. Yeah, we stopped the run. I mean, we didn't get our first rushing touchdown until close to 14, 15 game of the season. They held over 30 games in a row without allowing a rushing touchdown. So that's the best part of our defense right there. The secondary has always been shoddy at best, but because the front 7 puts so much pressure, it makes the secondary better.
Yeah, I mean, you do have some good safeties, but we'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about get into the player depth. But let's break down their actual schedule. We're going to break down the wins and losses of what we think they will do at best and maybe at worst as well. So we won't worry about the preseason. We'll get right into the regular season. So Sunday they have a game against Green Bay. I think they're going to lose that game, that home opener in Green Bay. I think they're pissed off. Matthew came out and said, hey, we gifted the New York Giants that win. I think they're ready and poised to go out and have another 15-1 season or maybe, another 2-loss season at best. So I think they're going to lose that first game, man.
I don't see it happening because Green Bay doesn't have a running game. So with a team like that, they can rush with 4 at the most and put pressure on Aaron Rodgers and still drop back everybody into coverage and take care of the receivers. And with our 4 being able to put so much pressure on Aaron Rodgers, it makes it easy for the secondary to just pick off whatever's coming their way.
Well, that's how they lost their only game in the regular season last year, is that they dropped 8 in the coverage and dared them to run, and they never ran the ball. I mean, they're just a pass-only team, basically. But we'll see if you guys have the discipline to probably try to implement something like that. I honestly don't think so. I think that they're poised to lose that first game.
Come on. With Harbaugh, all they have is discipline. He's a good coach, and the team has bought into his winning spirit that it's team above individual. So they'll sacrifice. They'll do what they have to do. If the pressure falls on the secondary, they're up to that challenge.
You think so?
Because we're going to face, 5 of the top passers from last year throughout the season. So it's good. The secondary knows that a lot of our wins and losses are going to fall on them, not the front 7.
Now, keep in mind, if this game was maybe, week 5, week 6, I can see that. I say, oh, hey, maybe they could win that game or they have more of a chance. But the first week of the season, challenging the weakest link of that team, I don't think it's possible. So you have them winning that game?
I got them winning. It's going to be a close game, but I do got them winning that game.
Okay. So the next game is against Detroit. I definitely have them winning that game. Actually, probably pretty easy at home. What do you have?
No, I got them winning that game. I mean, honestly, if you want to go, let's just go for overall records right now, and then we'll see where the disputes are. Okay. I got them going. I had them initially when I went through the schedule 14-2, but I knew I was gonna get a lot from that. And I already got Chicago fans walking out, but I actually revised the schedule and I gave Chicago a win, and I dropped them down to 13-3. And the reason I did that is because I looked through the schedule and I saw what the 49ers were able to do last year with the lack of talent at wide receiver. Yeah. And this year they're stacked at wide receiver, in my opinion. and they're stacked at every position on offense and defense except right guard.
But you also got to remember that your division is going to be tougher than it was last year. And even it was weak last year, you had some weird losses like in Arizona that you guys dealt with.
Right, but that was the only loss we had. I mean, I don't see them slacking at any point, not with Harbaugh as the coach. Not with what this team went through, not being so close to the Super Bowl. I don't see them having a letdown where they overachieved last year and they're just going to expect to do that this year. They don't expect to do it again. They want to do it again, and they know they need to do better this year. And from everything I've seen, everything I've read, they all know that last year is last year. This year is a new year, and they have to do better than they did last year.
Well, here's the thing about that. They did overachieve last year. I mean, you look at the quarterback ranking and how many yards they threw. I mean, they were 29th in passing. You usually have to have an elite quarterback who's on the way to the Pro Bowl to win back-to-back 13-plus, games in a season. You usually have to have a Pro Bowl type of guy to have that happen. I don't think Alex Smith is capable to lead him to another 13 victory season.
He has 17 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. I don't care about yards and all that. When he has only 5 interceptions, you tell me what else he needs to do to get his team in a position to win.
17 touchdowns. It was a lack of touchdowns that you guys had in the red zone. That's why it was only 17. 17 was on the low end of quarterbacks, actually. So, especially you talking about quarterbacks over 10 wins in the league. Yeah, he was on the bottom half. But I think that he needs to take advantage of his new weapons that he has and take chances. He didn't have he only had 5 interceptions, yeah, but that's because he never took any chances, especially in the red zone. He has to take those chances for the team to be successful this year.
But he had to play it safe because he didn't have anybody he could take a chance with. He didn't have a type of receiver where he could throw the ball up and go, all right, you go get it. So Crabtree's not that receiver. Nobody was that receiver.
This was his 8th season this year? 8th. And he's never been the type of person to take a chance. So this year, he has to.
No, he's been the type. No. When he's playing from behind.
Playing from behind.
Which
who was the coach? Who was the coach then?
Well, it didn't matter who the coach was. It mattered on him what he had to do. But he knows what he has now. He didn't have the weapons last year. He couldn't do that even if he wanted to. He just didn't have the personnel to do it. He didn't have anybody he can throw it out there to. Now he does.
He had, well, I mean, Crabtree did show up, especially, the first 8 weeks. He was there.
Yeah, but he didn't show up in the preseason again, and this year he's hurt again. So I'm not putting too much money on Crabtree. I'm a Niner fan and all that, but I don't hold Crabtree in the highest regards.
All right, so you have him at 13-3, and maybe 14-2. I have him at 10-6, maybe 11-5. I see their division games are going to be a lot tougher. I see the games against Seattle going to be a lot tougher. The games against Arizona, which they seem to struggle every year, those games are going to be a lot tougher. I see the NFL as a whole being tougher. Everybody basically beating up on each other within the division. I'm going to have them losing to Arizona. Of course, I have them losing to the Giants. I also have them losing to New England. And as a Raider fan, as much as I hate to say that, I hope that you guys do win that game, but now it's just telling me that you guys are going to lose that game. And if you guys actually, that's the toughest game that New England has all year.
So, well, yeah, because they year in, year out get the easiest schedules for whatever reason. But so looking at your schedule, you have them, what, 11-5?
At best.
Okay, so who do you have their losses against again?
Arizona, New England, Green Bay, Giants, and maybe Arizona again. That would put them at 10-6, but at best they'll win that other Arizona game. Correct.
See, I got them at 13-3, and I got their only losses coming against the Bears in Week 11. The next week against the Saints in New Orleans, and the Seahawks in Week 16 because they're playing in Seattle.
So you think they're going to beat New England in New England?
Yeah, I don't see why they can't. I mean, I thought they would have beat them last year with the lack of depth they had at receiver in the Super Bowl, just because the front seven is so ferocious that they'll get to Brady, and Brady, if he gets pressure, he gets rattled.
He does. If you touch Brady or get in his face, he does tend to throw the ball a little off center. But I mean, I still, with the added weapons that they have, which they thought they were getting in Ocho Cinco last year, which they didn't, I think they will get this year in Brandon Lloyd. I don't see you guys winning that game. I mean, it'll be close, but I think it'll still be a 7-10 point game. I know a couple people in the crowd are happy to hear that, Ron. But let's talk about the defensive MVP of the 49ers, or who they should hope should be the defensive MVP. Who do you have?
I'll go with Patrick Willis again. He's just, I mean, he's the anchor for the defense. Everything that runs through the defense runs through him. And he, unless, I mean, barring an injury, there's no reason that him and Navarro Bowman shouldn't lead the team in tackles.
Yeah.
But still, everything runs through Patrick Willis, not Navarro Bowman.
And he did take a step back in responsibility last year, and he did it with great poise. So,
well, not much is asked of him. I mean, Navarro Bowman showed up and played so well, really no one expected it. I mean, honestly, I'd say for most of the year, he outplayed Patrick Willis. But Patrick Willis is still Patrick Willis, and Patrick Willis has been doing it since he was a rookie.
I think that Patrick Willis is going to play to his ability, so I didn't name him MVP. So I think I should guess the person that needs to be MVP for them this upcoming year will have to be Golson. He did have 7 interceptions last year. If he could keep at that same rate and maybe step it up a bit to shore up that secondary, which got ate up in big games, especially those last 2-minute drives in big games, I think they can go somewhere, maybe even a little bit more than the 10-11 game seasons. But he has to be that person to shore up the secondary.
So who's your offensive MVP?
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith. I agree with you.
I mean, every year he has increased his total passing yards. The thing that just gets me is the red zone execution just isn't there. And you can see it. They call on the second and third down. Harbaugh has him in that wishbone. He's always running or a bootleg, and he never pulls the trigger. He's always throwing the ball out of bounds or he's running out of bounds. I think that for him to be MVP, he's going to have to pull that trigger on those bootlegs, and he has the receivers who can go up there and make the catch for him this year.
Yeah, now he does. And I agree, because they've upgraded at every position except his. And it falls on him. You know, he had a great year last year.
Yeah.
He didn't make a lot of mistakes. And what they do this year is going to depend on his arm. He has the weapons now, so there's no excuses. He has weapons at every position. There's nothing he can say. If he doesn't throw for 300 yards, I'd say
per game,
6, 7. No, I wouldn't say per game,
okay,
because it's just okay. I don't think well, Harbaugh doesn't call for that. Harbaugh, that's not the type of game he calls.
True.
But I'd say if he doesn't do it at least 6 times the year, then the fault is with him, not with the staff or not with the receivers. Anybody, is with him.
If Crabtree can show up on the offensive side of the ball, I think it'll help Randy Moss out a lot. I don't think they're even going to call it many deep threat passes, maybe 1 or 2 per game. But if Crabtree could show up, that'll free up Randy Moss and vice versa.
No, see, I disagree. With everything I've been reading about them, they're going to go deep. And it's going to be Randy Moss's job only to go deep. And that's going to open up everybody else. It's going to open up Crabtree in the middle. It's going to open up Vernon Davis.
I think that's a mistake. If they do, I think it's a mistake. That's not Harbaugh's DNA.
He runs less than a 4.4.
He does, but that's not Harbaugh's DNA. It's not his DNA. We'll see. We'll see, but I don't think so. Now, let's get into the Arizona Cardinals. Last year, they were 8-8. Actually surprising 4-2 in the AFC West. They tore it up there. 7-5 in NFC. They just lost to anyone else or everyone else. They had 222 passing yards, 17th overall, 101 rushing yards, 24th overall. And they weren't that good defensively. They still have a young front seven and a young secondary, a young defensive unit. They just couldn't put it together against any team outside of the NFC. I have them going 6-10. I don't have them going anywhere this year, to be quite honest. Kevin Kolb looks like a bum. He basically got overpaid for a couple of games, and I don't see him propelling that team to over 6 or 7 wins.
Well, that's what happens when you sign a backup quarterback that's never really played and shown anything. You know, you take a gamble, and apparently from everything we keep seeing on Kolb, it's a lost gamble. I mean, he gets hurt. When he is in, he's throwing interceptions. He's just not playing very well.
Yeah.
But as far as record-wise, I got them going 8-8. I still haven't finished in 3rd place in the division, but I do have them going 8-8, slightly better than what you said here.
So who are their 8 wins? What week?
All right, let's see. Wins, I got them going against weeks. I actually got it going on a 4-game tear, weeks 4 through 7. So I got them winning against the Dolphins, the Rams, the Bills, and the Vikings.
Yep.
I also got them in week 11 against the Falcons, the Rams again, the Jets, and then I got them upsetting the Lions in week 15.
Like I said, I have them going 6-10. Their schedule is brutal, and especially they play Philadelphia and New England back-to-back. I mean, it's just tough. I have them losing the first 3 games of the season, catching a win at home against Miami, losing to St. Louis, getting a win at home against Buffalo, losing at Minnesota. And I have them actually getting a win at home against Frisco only because Frisco has so much trouble in Arizona. I don't know what it is. It's probably mental.
No, they do. And I think all the games between both of them are going to be close this year.
Yeah. So I have them winning that game. Losing, of course, at Green Bay, at Atlanta. Winning at St. Louis and having a 4-game losing streak against the Jets, Seattle, Detroit, and Chicago, and San Francisco at the end. So, yeah, tough season for them, even though they're supposed to be on the up and up. But with Kevin Kolb as their quarterback, I don't see him ever getting 7-8 win seasons.
Well, I don't think he's going to play at all, to tell you the truth. I think Skelton's going to overtake him for the starting job. I mean, he's played better when he's been out there, and Kolb, for whatever reason, either can't stay healthy or just can't get it done.
He has no arm strength. Everybody says, oh, okay, yeah, when he came in that year for the Philadelphia Eagles, he showed great arm strength. He showed great accuracy. But since those couple of games, where's the arm strength gone? I mean, it's just not there. So I think that they have to start looking for some type of replacement right now if they ever want to get to the playoffs. But who do you have as their defensive MVP?
Patrick Peterson. Just because, I mean, he does it all. He does it on special teams. He does it on defense. He's just a freaking stud. I mean, honestly, 2 of their wins last year are because of his returns alone. I mean, he saved them when they needed a big play, and he got it done. So on defense, I see him doing the same. I mean, I honestly, on that draft, I wish the 49ers had got Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
But, you know, we didn't get him. So, but I see him being the defensive MVP.
I have Darrell Washington. I think he's one of the most underrated linebackers in the game. He's the standalone guy on that defense since they let go of Curry. 107 tackles last year. And that increased even from the year before that when he only had 78. So he is looking to take an upward spike. As long as he can take control of that defense, which they're a young group, but if he can grab a hold of them and at least show the front 7 what to do and what their assignments are, they'll be okay and hit that 6 or 7 game mark. But the offense won't allow them to win any more than that. Who do you have for their offensive MVP?
Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
just because I don't care who's throwing the ball, he puts up stats regardless. It doesn't matter. You have a punter throwing him the ball, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get the ball. He just gets it done.
Yeah, he had 80 catches, 1,400 yards with a quarterback that mainly is a bum.
And he's facing triple teams. I mean, it doesn't matter. He still gets the ball
every time. All right, so let's talk about the Rams a little bit. New head coach, new personality. Do you think that they make? I wouldn't saying they're going to make the playoffs the first year of Fisher there, but do you think they make that turn or turn the corner?
Well, I only got them going 6-10, and after averaging only 12.1 points a game last year, I don't see them being as bad as they were last year, but I don't see them taking that big of a step. I mean, they got a bunch of additions with wide receivers Brian Quick and Chris Givens, who are supposed to take a lot of the load off of Bradford there. They got Isaiah Peed as a running back. They got the former Jets offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, and that's where I kind of have trouble with everything because the Jets, they weren't a good offensive team to begin with, regardless if they got to the AFC Championship game. They were never one of those dynamic teams where you had to really prepare for their offense or worry about what they're going to throw at you. You kind of knew what was coming at you, and I don't expect anything different here with the Rams. I mean, I think they're going to be mostly run first with Steven Jackson and then, a bunch of play action with Bradford.
Well, that's the thing. You said the key there a couple times is Bradford. He is the key to the team. Can he stay healthy? Can he prepare his team?
Well, if his line blocks for him because they allowed the most sacks. So, I mean.
And that's the thing. That's why he was hurt.
He got pummeled last year.
Yeah, he did. I think defensively they're going to be amazing. They were actually within the top 10 of pass defense. So run defense, not so much, but pass defense, it was there. So I think, 7-9. I have them at 7-9 this year. A little bit. Last year they were 2-14. So of course they are going to improve. So I have them at 7-9 this year. And actually in the NFC West, they didn't actually win the game. I have them getting losses against Detroit, Chicago, and Seattle, Green Bay, New England. And coming off the bye, I have them losing to San Francisco and also Arizona.
I got too many losses for them to even go through. I got 10 of them, so yeah, they're going to be 6-10 in last place. But they do have a bunch of draft picks stockpiled for the next couple of years. I mean, they got 2 in each each first round for the next 3 years, so they'll be set. They're trying to make a youth movement, so I would say come 2-3 years, they're going to be a force.
Okay. Now let's jump right into Seattle Seahawks here. 7-9 last year, just like the couple years before that. They always hover around that 7-9, 8-8 mark. 3-3 in the division, 6-6 in the NFC altogether. Their offense isn't that great, 22nd overall, period. Their defense is not bad, 11th in the league. So one consistent thing we can say about the NFC West is that defensively they're okay.
I have them
going 9-7.
That's exactly what I got them at. And actually, as far as speaking about the NFC West, I actually got 3 of the teams in the top 10 when it comes to defense. I have the 49ers, Seattle, and actually Arizona in the top 10 in defense overall. Mm-hmm. As far as the Seahawks, the additions of Terrell Owens, Braylon Edwards, they got Matt Flynn, which was supposed to be the incumbent starter once he got signed, but actually now he's getting a lot of push from rookie Russell Wilson that they just drafted. And they also have Kellen Winslow now, which they traded for from Tampa Bay. They got a bunch of additions here. Whether they're going to be productive or not still needs to be determined. I think Terrell Owens is going to have a breakout season, actually, because he's going to be depended on so heavily with this team. They really don't have anything else.
And quite honestly, he performs anywhere he goes. I mean, even his last year with the Bengals, he outperformed Chad Ochocinco. I mean, he had the most catches, the most yards, 8 touchdowns. I mean, everywhere he goes, he performs.
Yeah, it's always his off-the-field antics that people got to deal with, but on the field, he actually does perform.
For my defensive MVP, I had Brandon Brown, the cornerback. It's only his second year, but he played awesome his rookie year, and the teams actually did try to target him the most on the team. He did have the most passes thrown at, but he defended them well and also got the interceptions too.
Well, no, I like him because he's actually a big cornerback.
Yeah,
most cornerbacks usually 5'10", 5'11". He's actually 6'3".
Yeah, so he could go up there with the big guys, you know, like especially in that division where you're gonna see Calvin Johnson, Megatron, and now you're gonna see, you know, the other receivers in the league like T.O. Who do you guys?
He's gonna
Randy Moss. Yeah, so other tall receivers, he can actually go out there and guard and have a chance on jump balls.
They got a bunch to go. I mean, he's gonna have to go against Des Bryant, Jennings.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to go shoot here against Steve Smith.
Yeah,
Welker. He's got a couple people to go against. As far as the secondary, though, even though I like him a lot, I actually voted for safety Earl Thomas. He anchors that secondary, which is one of the best in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I think how he plays determines how they play, because he is the signal caller in that secondary. He's the leader out there.
I will say this: they do have another team with another young core in the secondary, and they can put it together and actually, you know, make the playoffs this year. So I'm excited. I am a Pete Carroll fan. So.
I do have them coming in actually as a wild card.
Yeah. So I'm a Pete Carroll fan. I hope they do make it. They're just not going to win the division, that's for sure.
Scum.
So who do you have as their offensive MVP?
Offensive, I got Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, that's who it has to be.
Because they got the carousel at quarterback. I don't know who the hell is going to be throwing the ball, so I can't really depend on that. But you know, Marshawn's going to be a staple there, regardless of his discipline that he might get for the DUI. But even if it's 4 games he missed, I mean, last year he did the same thing. He didn't have a great season to start off, but once he got going, he led the league in rushing.
And the main thing about him, he doesn't fumble. He's averaged 3 fumbles, 1 fumble a year throughout his entire career. So he doesn't fumble the ball. If he can get 1,300 yards, I think they could go someplace. They could go to places, but it all depends on how many games he's going to be out. If he's going to be out more than 4 games, I think that 9-7 season is going to be in jeopardy. All right, so that is the NFC West breakdown. Who do you have as your division MVP throughout that whole NFC West?
I want to say Alex, but it all depends.
That's who I got. That's who I picked.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. Honestly, I wouldn't even put it on a player. I'm going to say if it's the 49ers will win the division and Alex that takes the steps that are expected of him, I still would be the MVP would be Harbaugh to me. Just because he's the puppet master of that whole organization now. He's the face of the franchise more than Alex, more than any player in uniform. And he determines what happens, who does what. And he's honestly brilliant. I mean, he's been successful at every step he's taken, whether it be at San Diego, at Stanford, and now at San Francisco. He's been successful, so I can't attribute the success of the division champs in the NFC West to anybody but Harbaugh.
So we're on the same page. I had like a double MVP there. I had Jeff Fisher, depending on how good the Rams can be. Can he get Bradford on the right page? They don't have any wide receivers, so if you can think of a scheme to take advantage of what they have on the offensive side of the ball, I have him being the MVP as well, so we're on the same page. What about your division champion? You have 49ers, right?
49ers.
Yeah. So we both have them winning 13 games, which is pretty up there. I have them winning 10 or 11. So that segment is brought to you by Beer Locker, apparel for sports fans who love beer and beer fans who love sports. Check out beerlocker.com to find your team, school, or colors. Beer Locker, you still got to send us some shirts. So coming up next, we have the NFC breakdown. AFC.
Hey Texas, listen up. In need of quality property maintenance but don't want to overspend? Schaefer & Brothers has you covered. We specialize in Hey Texas, listen up. In need of quality property maintenance but don't want to overspend? Schaefer & Brothers has you covered. We specialize in affordable maintenance services indoors and out at just about any piece of property you may own. Whether it's a rental space, residence, or a piece of commercial property, Schaefer & Brothers provides quality lawn and pool maintenance, housekeeping, and other upkeep services. Whether you need a single cleanup or regular service, Schaefer & Brothers has you covered. By bundling indoor and outdoor services together into one package, you receive our discounted rates. More services for you at a price that makes both you and your wallet happy. For more information, visit schaeferslawnscaping.com. That's schaeferslawnscaping.com or call 940-220-9011. That's 940-220-9011. Call today.
Welcome back to the Man Cave Media Sports Show. We are live at the Locker Room Barbershop in Cabo, California. 2050 Bascom Avenue in Campbell. So we just went down the line in the NFC West. Now we're going to break down the AFC West. I said NFC West before. Shame on me. So let's start with the Denver Broncos. They have a new quarterback, I heard. Is he any good?
I'll let you go first. Go ahead. What do you have him finishing at?
I have them 9-7 to be quite honest. We're not even going to talk about last year's stats because it was ridiculous. They had a guy at quarterback who shouldn't have been quarterback.
Is 9-7 good enough for first place though?
In that division, do you want me to spoil it now, or do
ahead.
you want to wait till we get to the Raiders?
I'm asking.
I think they're good. I think 9-7 will win the division, and it will come down to a tiebreaker again. Yeah, 9-7 will win, but it will come down to another tiebreaker. I got them losing the first 3 games of the season though. Check it out. I have them losing at home against Pittsburgh. I have them losing at Atlanta, and then back at home against Houston. That's a tough 3-game stretch. Peyton Manning with new weapons, new timing, and I heard he still doesn't have velocity on the ball. I just don't see them winning those 3 games.
But see, when you talk about additions, he has Brandon Stokely, who's familiar with the Colts. So even if he has nothing else, he has somebody he's played with for years and someone he's familiar with on the same page that he can go to when all else fails. He also has Jacob Tam, who is a Dallas backup tight end, which will help out. Now, as far as record-wise, I actually have them going first place with 10-6. And the only difference with the first 3 games is I have them beating the Steelers. Just because the Steelers, to me, are a beat-up team right now. They're hurting. They're not the same Steelers that we're accustomed to.
Old defensively, too.
Right. Well, not only that, they don't have a running back to go to right now. And Big Ben's also hurt with the rotator cuff. So I have them actually winning that game, but losing the next 2 against the Falcons and the Texans.
Do you have them winning at San Diego?
In week 6?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So where are all the losses come from then?
Let's see. All right. So we got them losing against the Falcons, the Texans. I got them losing against the Patriots in week 5.
Okay.
Panthers in week 10. The Chiefs, week 12. And the Ravens in week 15.
I think the Ravens play just about every team in the AFC West, and I see them just running through. But that's just a side note. But I see them actually winning one at home and then losing one on the road against the Raiders. I also see San Diego taking a step back in the division, so I have them winning those games. But that first 3 games, I think, is going to be the killer for them. That first 3 games, tough stretch for any team. Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Houston, tough. I would say they play Oakland right after that. I would say in Oakland too, but that would just be stretching it. But who do you have as your defensive MVP for that team?
I have Von Miller down as the MVP because honestly, last year they just kind of threw him out there. He didn't know what he was doing, and he still tore up the league. Yeah. So now that he has a year, a full offseason, a training camp, and he actually understands more what's needed of him, I think he's going to have a ridiculous year this year. Yeah,
because he's a 4-3 linebacker, and he came in. He's actually a 3-4 linebacker and came to a 4-3 system. Like you said, he didn't know what to do. He came in there, and he still wrecked it.
I'll actually put him down for 15 sacks this year.
15 sacks. 15. Wow. I have him. He had 12 sacks last year, but for him, 15 sacks, that's a lot. Yeah. I have him probably around 12, 13. That's not a stretch to say 15.
How many did you say he had last year?
12.
And he had a cast on his hand, part of that.
Yeah, he did.
So if he's healthy and he's ready to go, I got him at 15.
He's the best pass rusher that they have, to be quite honest.
Yeah, no, he's a monster.
Who do you have as their offensive MVP?
Manning, of course, because, Manning's going to make that offense. Honestly, they don't even need to hire an offensive coordinator. Let Manning take over. Manning is known for making average receivers better than they are. And he actually has some decent ones here, especially with Demaryius Thomas. I put him above average. He's going to make this receiving core a lot better.
What do you think,
Decker? With Decker, exactly, too.
Yeah, he's a big, and he's fast. He's deceivingly fast with how big he is. I just don't know if he's 100%. We have to see first. Was it 4 neck surgeries with his nerve? He doesn't have velocity on the ball. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for him when he gets hit. What's going to happen when he gets hit the first time? When he gets hit throwing the ball, what's going to happen?
He'll be fine.
He's too many unanswered.
He's had those neck surgeries before, and he still played the following season, so he'll be all right.
All right, so next we have the San Diego Superchargers, and I have them at 7-9. Even though
7-9.
Yeah, they were 8-8 last year. Okay. They lost their key receiver. Ryan Matthews isn't the running back everyone thought he was going to be.
But they made up for it. They made up for it with more than one receiver. They picked up Eddie Royal and Robert Meacham.
They did pick up Meacham and Royal. Here's the thing. This is the first time I've seen Phillip Rivers vulnerable. Usually when they lose, it's probably, hey, they made a mistake on the defensive side of the ball, or Ryan Matthews didn't show up. But last year, it was all on Phillip Rivers. They all had a chance. They had a chance to win. He couldn't drive the team down the field in the last 2 minutes, or when they needed a score, he was throwing interceptions. He just didn't put the team on his shoulders last year. And if they were to win, let's say, 10 games this year, he cannot throw 20 interceptions again. No way he can throw 20 interceptions again. And with him losing his top receiver, I think that's going to hurt.
But that's because I think he's trying to do too much in the passing game because he doesn't have a good running game behind him.
And that's the thing. And I don't see him gaining the confidence. What happened between last year and this year to give him the confidence to go ahead and not throw those interceptions?
Well, confidence ain't a problem of his. He'll fit the ball in wherever he feels he could. It doesn't matter. If it's a small little gap, he'll try to fit it in. He doesn't care about that. Confidence has never been a problem of Phillip Rivers.
So the main thing I want to know is that first game of the season, where do you have them?
Against the Raiders?
Yeah. I
actually have the Raiders winning that game.
Okay, there you go. All right, that's all I wanted to know. All right, so I actually have them losing that game as well. Their schedule isn't that tough. They have Cleveland, they do have Atlanta, and they have Tampa Bay. So there's a couple winnable games in there. But that Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Carolina, and Jets stretch that they have, I have them losing 3 of those 4.
Why do you have them losing to the Jets?
They're in New York has to win a game sometime. The Jets, they have to, right?
It's at home. They got to do it against the Chargers.
It's at home. They have to. Quite honestly, I have the Jets winning 6 games, but I think this is one of the games that they can win and that they will win.
I don't think very highly of the Jets, to tell you the truth. And against everybody, they're usually a loss. Especially, honestly, even if it's Tebow or it's Sanchez, whatever the toss-up is, they're still not a very good team. Regardless of which one's the quarterback, who's the wide receiver? Santonio Holmes, and then what?
That's it. And everybody's blaming, especially the local media out there in New York, they're blaming Sanchez. Hey, Sanchez is not a quarterback this, he's not a quarterback that. Where are his weapons? They didn't improve his weapons, or they didn't give him any type of wide receivers.
Yeah, but he's not a leader. That's his main knock.
They didn't even improve the line. His offensive line can't block.
And they can't lead. It doesn't matter.
you still got to give the guy a chance. He's your quarterback. You pay him to be your quarterback. You got to give him a chance.
His work ethic has been questioned, and so is his leadership. When those things are questioned to me, especially at the quarterback position, even the fact that they're questioned, whether it's wrong or it's right, the fact that someone would question it, to me, shows that he just doesn't fit the bill.
Yeah, his leadership, even if his leadership is questioned, you still got to put your team in the best position to win. You still have to go out there and get him somebody to throw to besides Santonio Holmes, undersized wide receiver. That's why I see.
He had Plaxico last year.
He did, but where's he at now? He's not with the team. Who does he have after
Plaxico's not
Santonio
playing for
Holmes?
anybody.
He has nobody besides Holmes.
Oh, Plaxico, I'll tell you where he's going to end up right now. Oakland.
We don't need another wide receiver.
He's going to.
No
I
way.
guarantee it.
No way he
will
sign. No.
He's waiting on Oakland to sign him.
No way. Who do you have as their defensive MVP?
Eric Weddle.
That's
he got a big contract. He's deserved it. He plays tough at the safety position. So I got him as the MVP.
I think he's actually maybe he is the best run-stopping safety. He's a safety who plays like a linebacker. He's 200 pounds, but he plays like he's 220. And he actually had 7 interceptions as well as led the team in tackles. So
he's doing
I have
all
him as my defensive MVP. Now, offensive MVP has to be Phillip Rivers. No way he can throw 20 interceptions again. His first 20 interception season in his career. He usually averages about 10 to 13 a year. He took a little bit too much chances because where was his running back?
Well, but like I said, confidence isn't a problem. It's not he's taking chances. He thinks he can get the ball there.
Yeah.
So he does. He tries to, and sometimes it gets picked off. But I also have him down as the offensive MVP.
Yeah. So moving on to Kansas City, 7-9 last year. This team was hit with injury bugs left and right. It seems like every week, starting with week number 2, they had a top player go down. Even with that said, I don't see them going over 8-8. Even 8-8 is pushing it. Who do you think they throw out there with quarterback? Who do they throw to? Is Dwayne Bowe going to get paid? There's still a lot of question marks with the team offensively, but with that said, I still have them going 8-8.
I got them at 9-7. With the additions of Romeo Crennel at the new head coach, Peyton Hillis, Kevin Boss, I see them, at least on offense, if they do encounter some injuries, they got a little bit to back up with, especially with Jamal Charles going down. They were riddled last year. Yeah, he's coming back. And so is Eric Berry, most importantly on defense. Eric Berry's coming back from that gruesome ACL injury he had. I see them at 9-7, maybe challenging for second place. Castle is going to be the person that determines how they do here.
That's the thing is Castle. When you think of playoff teams, the first position you think about is quarterback. And you think, okay, can Castle lead his team, to the playoff victory land? I don't see that happening. If it's anyone, it's going to be the 1-2 punch between Hillis and Charles.
Well, they're going to have the combo. I don't think it's going to fall on more on. Jamal Charles is going to get more of the carries, but I think it's going to be pretty much either 50-50 or 60-40.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Charles's season in 2010 when he had all those yards where he got that recognition when he was in a 1-2 punch system when he did come in and break those big yardage plays, but it was a 1-2 punch type of system. He wasn't the main back, or he wasn't the only back in the system to say. So 9-7, 8-8, yeah, I see them right around there, but I don't see them winning the division. No.
The reason I don't see them winning the division is because they lost Brandon Carter free agency, and their replacement for him was Stanford Routt. When you sign a cornerback that had 17 pass interferences, that's not going to go well for them.
And I mean, the guy, he can cover. Stanford Routt can cover. He's just not smart.
Very closely, apparently. I mean, to the point where he. Now, I'll give it. I will actually say this: Stanford Rout's problem, and I think the reason that he got beat up so much last year was because he was forced to cover number 1 receivers, and that's not the cornerback that he is. With the Chiefs, he's going to be on the number 2 receivers, number 3 receivers.
I tell you this,
that'll do better for him.
Chiefs better not have him in any type of cover 2 zone because he was terrible with the Raiders in any type of cover 2 or cover 3 system.
So who do you have for offensive MVP?
Charles as my MVP. Even if he's going to share the carries, I think he's going to get probably around 20 carries a game. maybe around 17 in that range. I still think he needs to be the MVP for that team to win. It cannot be Castle. If they're counting on Castle to be that team's MVP, they're not going to win.
I don't know. I got Charles down too, but I think more should be expected of Castle. I mean, when he was in New England, he threw 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, so it's not like he can't do that. He can do it here, and he does have a couple more weapons. But I do have Jamal Charles down because if he goes down, I wouldn't put all my chips on Peyton Hillis. Peyton Hillis is good to come relieve him every now and then or get the short yardage, but I wouldn't put my money down because the way he played for Cleveland, he just fell off. He got the Madden curse.
He got the Madden curse, and Cleveland misused him. He's not like you said, he's not an every down back. Your first down back should be a guy like Charles, and then your third, maybe third and four, you bring in Hillis. Even if you're not going to run to him, you can play action fake. There's a lot of things you do with Hillis that could draw the attention of the defense, and Cleveland just misused him all last year, in my opinion. And he was hurt too. But who do you have as your defensive MVP?
Defensive MVP, even though Eric Berry's coming back, I got Tamba Ali down as the MVP.
Ooh.
Now, he's just wreaks havoc on opposing quarterbacks. He actually wasn't expected to last year with the change in the new defense, but even in that new defensive scheme, he thrived. So I expect the same out of him, if not more, this year.
I have Derek Johnson with Cornell coaching now. I think he's going to lead the team in tackles again this year. So, even though their defense wasn't that great, what were they last year overall? 26 overall, but he still led the team in tackles. I think he's going to do it again this year, especially with Cornell coaching him. So let's move on to the best team in the Bay, Oakland Raiders.
You guys hearing this? You guys? That's why she don't like me. Oh, okay.
All right, so they were 11th overall in passing last year, 7th in rushing, even though their main back only played 7 games. 27th overall in passing yards opposed, and 27th overall in rushing yards opposed, which is terrible. So I have
say that again. What was that stat?
No. So I have them at 9-7 this year, tying with the Denver Broncos.
No, seriously, say that stat again. What was that stat?
27th.
So when you tell me in training camp that McFadden's busting off runs for going the distance, why did I tell you it doesn't matter?
I tell you the truth.
They can't stop nobody.
The Raiders couldn't stop their way through a wet paper bag last year. It was terrible. It was because of the positions that were put in by the coach. They weren't prepared for anything. Even the game against Detroit, Calvin Johnson, they had a chance to win that game, which would have put him in the playoff hunt. But they let Calvin Johnson roam free up the middle with McClain. How is McClain going to guard Calvin Johnson one-on-one? I mean, it's just stupid decisions like that by the coaching staff that they put the Raiders players in that they know they couldn't win that matchup. So I think this year, Dennis Allen, who's a defensive guru, we'll put him in at least in the right position to let the players fail, not put them in a position where they know they can't win in the first place.
But see, here's so when we go through additions, I see they got, Dennis Allen, and I keep hearing great things about him, but to me, he hasn't done anything. You rarely hear somebody come new into a coaching position where you hear something negative said about him. Of course, everybody's going to say, yeah, he's a change of culture and the same cliche things you hear about a new coach. That's the biggest thing
is the change of culture.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? It means that it's a little. Here's the thing: little stupid, silly things that the Raider fans or that the Raiders are used to that they don't do. Like when a player jumps offside in practice, that means the whole defense run sprints.
Okay. But the problem is they're still jumping offside.
But they are. But before this point, Al Davis said, "Hey, they're jumping off sides. That just shows that they're trying." No, they're jumping off sides now in practice. The whole defense is running sprints.
But they're still jumping off. That's what I'm saying. Even in training camp and everything I've read, they're still having penalty problems. So how is he changing the culture when you guys just broke the record last year?
Hey, it takes 7 weeks to break a habit, man. Just give him some more time. Give him some more time.
Okay, and then what other additions do we have here? Matt Leinart. Really? So
he's a backup.
If Carson Palmer gets hurt,
you want us to sign Aaron Rodgers for our backup?
Matt Leinart is your go-to guy if Carson Palmer.
Yeah,
gets
he's
hurt.
a viable backup. Name some viable backups in this league that's better than Leinart.
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but if he was the only option, I still wouldn't take him.
You're just saying that if no.
Because it's Matt Leinart. I'm saying that because Matt Leinart.
Matt Leinart actually did good for the Texans when Shaw went down. He just got hurt.
Like one series, he got hurt.
No, he did. It was actually like 2 quarters or something. But they were winning the game,
and he got hurt.
They were winning the game. He was doing his job.
And he is a game manager by a third-string quarterback rookie from North Carolina.
I'm saying he is a good backup quarterback. You can't name a better backup quarterback than Matt Leinart. You're gonna say Young? I mean, you could go down.
I would take Vince Young over him.
You'll take Vince Young over him.
Why not?
Okay, all right.
Vince Young used to start and actually win games. Look at their career record. What's Vince Young's career record? He's like 34-17. Why wouldn't I take him?
He had a winning record for 1 season though.
No, you don't win 34 games in 1 season.
How many? Wait,
that's his career record.
He started what?
That's his
2
career
years?
record.
Two years for Tennessee.
I don't know how many years is there, but regardless, that's his win-loss record. So he's a winning quarterback. He may not put up the gaudy stats, but he wins.
And he did real good for Philadelphia when Vic went down, right?
It doesn't matter. Leinart wouldn't have done better. Leinart would have done a lot worse.
A lot worse.
Even with those weapons. And then who else did you guys pick up? You got Shante Spencer, a throwaway from the 49ers, who lost his starting job. Oh, but by all means, have him. Go ahead. The Raiders are known
I'm sensing some bitterness.
The Raiders are known for plucking 49er players that no longer do anything, have no value to the 49ers, and they just pick them up.
No, the thing is, you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're looking for errors in the ways instead of looking for ways that they could win. Yeah, every team. No. Listen, hold on. Every team. No team is good 1 through 22, man. You have to look at the other positions. Just because you name 3 positions that the Raiders aren't good at, you have to look at the other 18 positions.
Your starting aren't good.
So
when you pick up a player that's not good, it's not going to help.
No, we had to pick up players that we could because the last administration for the Raiders threw away all of our. Yeah, they did. They threw away.
It's okay to say his name.
They threw away all of our draft picks, and they didn't draft well before that. So we're in a bad position to start. So we had to do what we can. But you got to focus on not just the 3 moves that we had or 3 players that you mentioned. You have to focus on the other 18 positions too.
I'm focusing on your entire defense, and when your safety Tyvon Branch averages 112 tackles for 3 straight years. That means that the front 7 aren't stopping a damn thing, and the balls are getting.
He's not the only safety in hundreds in tackling.
Doesn't matter.
But the thing is,
go look at any other safety, and they're on a bad defense.
His strength is to play up. He doesn't. He's a strong safety at that. He's 225 pounds. He is a big safety. He's a strong safety. So he's not going to be sitting back in coverage or anything like that, like a Golston would do. But he's going to play up and he's going to make tackles.
But he leads the team in tackles 3 straight years.
Yeah,
it's not an anomaly.
That's his strength.
Not like it happened 1 year.
Some systems, your inside linebacker is going to get 120 tackles. Some systems, your strong safety is going to get 120.
Show me a defense where your safety leads your team in tackles and they're a good.
We just talked about them. We just talked about them.
Who?
We just talked about the Arizona Cardinals. Their safety had 107 tackles, and the team before that, Denver Broncos guy, I forgot his name. He had 112 tackles. It all depends.
Defense wasn't good.
It all depends. It all depends on the system you run. There's tackles to be made. It all depends on what system you're in. That guy's gonna get the tackles, and it just so happens that he's a big safety who plays like a linebacker. He's gonna get those tackles, and you have to have a guy who can wrap up and do it. And
when you have to bring your safety up to stop the run, there's a problem with your defense. That's what I'm saying. You have 112 tackles for 3 straight years. It's 3 straight years.
If you're playing a 4-4, if you're playing a 4-4 or a 3-4, and your safety's up and you're still dropping 4 guys back, it doesn't matter. It matters if you still have 7 or 6 guys in a box. It doesn't matter who those guys are. As long as there's 7, 6 guys in a box, that's all that matters.
Would you guys rank against the run?
You were terrible in the run. 27.
Okay, that's my point.
Terrible.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Whose responsibility is to stop the run?
But I just explained to you why. You got to stop looking at the bitterness.
No, I'm not. I'm looking at the front 7's job to stop the run.
It's bitterness.
It's not bitterness.
I just told you why. Our coach.
Why would I be bitter about a team that sucks?
Because the coaches put him. Because you're not listening. The coaches put him in a bad position, and I just explained why they put him in a bad position. And because they put them in a bad position, they were failing. So this administration is not going to put them in a bad position. They're going to put them in a position to play their strengths. Which last year they didn't. They had, like I said, last year they had
lack
McClain.
Of talent.
They had McClain. So you're saying Patrick Willis? So you're saying okay. Patrick Willis can run with Megatron down the field for 80-yard pass.
He could run with him.
Patrick Willis can run with Megatron.
He could run with him.
All right, guys. So I want to hear that.
I'm not saying I want him to do it. I'm saying he could run with it.
So on Facebook, when you guys see this in the comment box, I want to see how many people agree with that. So if you guys think Patrick Willis,
are you asking me if I want Rolando McClain or do I want Willis running with it?
I didn't ask that. I said, do you think he can? I know McClain can. I said, do you think Patrick Willis can do that? I'm saying that your coaches are smart enough not to do that. Last year, Raiders coaches weren't smart enough not to do that.
Did you see Willis play in the playoffs last year against the Saints? Was he
not
on Graham?
There was no other Megatron in the damn league.
So you're telling me Jimmy Graham's not a good tight end?
Megatron is Megatron for a reason.
Jimmy Graham's not a good tight end.
He's not no freaking Megatron. He's nowhere close to Megatron.
What did Megatron do against 49ers last year?
Name a player that's... You can even say... If you said Antonio Bryan, I understand. But nobody on that... No. You can't compare that, dude.
What did Megatron do against 49ers last year?
I just explained why.
We played him too.
Your coaches last year were smart. Raiders coaches last year were dumb. That's the difference. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, all right, let's move on. Let's move on. So what do you have the Raiders at? What do you have the Raiders at?
I got them at 6-10, coming in 4th place.
6 and... Oh my God, that's too bitter right there.
I'll show you their wins. Since they got so many losses, I'll show you their wins.
That's homerism right there.
I'll go
against Bay Area.
I'll show you
homerism.
who they won. I got them winning the first 2 games against the Chargers and the Dolphins. Then Week 7 against the Jaguars.
Okay.
The Bucks in Week 9. The Browns in Week 13, and then the Chiefs in Week 15. And other than that, losses.
All right, here we go.
Losses.
They got them winning in San Diego, winning at Miami. Yeah. I got them losing against Pittsburgh, even at home. I got them losing at Denver. Then they have a bye week, and I still have them losing at Atlanta. That's a tough stretch. I got them winning against Jacksonville at home, losing at Kansas City, winning at Tampa Bay, losing at Baltimore. Again, the Raiders have a really tough schedule as I'm reading this here again.
For a good team, it's not that tough.
Winning at Cleveland, winning at home against Denver, winning at home against Kansas City, and losing the last 2 games of the season against Carolina and San Diego. I think Carolina is going to be a lot better than what people think they're going to be. I think their defense is going to step up this year, especially with Beeson coming back. I have them at 9-7. Even losing those last 2 games of the season, 9-7.
So wait, where were our 3 discrepancies here?
I don't think you have them winning a game against... Please tell me you haven't won against Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, I got that one.
Okay,
I gave
not that crazy. And I haven't won against New Orleans at home. You probably haven't losing that game.
No, I don't. Okay. I don't have them.
Okay.
I don't have them winning against New Orleans.
New Orleans and
New Orleans. He hasn't beaten New Orleans Saints at home. I don't care where it's at.
In Oakland. Yeah. I got him winning that game.
Sorry,
I got him winning that game.
Just like you guys thought you were going to beat the Patriots at home last year.
I didn't think that.
What happened?
Any rational fan would have told you that wasn't true.
Not the
so who do you have as their MVP?
Their MVP, I got Denarius Moore, not Carson Palmer.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Carson Palmer, you guys are living in the past. It's not 2005. He averages almost 20 interceptions a year. He's had 3 seasons of 20 interceptions, 1 of 18. He has just bad decision making. You can use that excuse that he was on the couch for part of the year last year.
It's not an excuse.
But when he started to play, he came in and he made bad decisions.
Yeah, he did make bad decisions.
He made them until the last week of the season.
He shouldn't have. He came in way too early. He shouldn't have played. Actually, the trade should have probably never been made in the first place. And we're going to see, because this coaching staff didn't make the trade for him, so they're probably not as high on him as the last coaching staff was. So we'll see how long they give him before they make a change. But my offensive MVP, of course, is going to be Darren McFadden. Can he stay healthy? Can he put up the numbers he has?
I didn't even consider him, to tell you the truth.
I mean, he's played, he's played 13 games, 12 games, 14 games. The last season was the only time he has played, not double-digit games.
Oh, yeah, okay, so he played those, what seasons? Because he didn't have a breakout season until his 3rd or 4th.
Last 2010 season, he played 13 games, and the year before that, he played 12.
He can't stay healthy. When anybody ever speaks about Darren McFadden, they say if he stays healthy, whenever they talk about him.
If Alex Smith could throw a touchdown in the red zone, same thing.
But he can learn to throw a touchdown. He can correct that. You can't correct staying healthy. And once a player is tagged with being injury prone, that's who they are. And especially Darren McFadden, that's how you speak of him. That's how he is.
Let's get it. No running back besides, looking at Adrian Peterson or someone like that is going to play full 16 games. Like I said, last season was the only year he didn't have a double-digit game season. Like I said, the season before that, he had 13 games. The season before that, it was 12.
No, it wasn't.
And this last season was the 7. Pull it up right now. So, if we can keep him healthy, you know, for 13 games, and he could put up, even if it's 1,200 yards, 1,300 yards, hey, yeah, he'll be the MVP for sure. So who do you have as the AFC MVP?
Peyton Manning. They're going to win the division, so of course it's going to fall on his arm. He's got a lot to prove anyways, with his brother having another Super Bowl ring than he does. And honestly, I still think Peyton's better at quarterback. I mean, he might be a better regular season quarterback, but overall I still think he's better. So he has something to prove more than anybody else. So that nerve, do you think Adrian Peterson, like, if you think he's going to come back in full force as well? Just want to get an idea. Well, the position's different. He takes more punishment than Peyton Manning. Quarterbacks take punishment too, but it's a running back's knee is the main thing. A quarterback's neck and arm is the main thing for the quarterback. So I think Peyton comes back healthier than AP. Yeah. So you're saying because the fans don't show up to the game, that's why they won't make the playoffs. It makes no sense. But we'll be back. Coming up next, we have the fan interaction. What say you? Coming up next on the Man Cave Sports Show. Discover how two men expose a commission loophole, putting money into bank accounts today. With this system, you earn 100% commission, paid instantly to your bank account. You earn residually every month. You're offering something of great value. You get a free marketing system and marketing training website. Work with a top 500 company website. No talking to people, high online conversations. Earn 4, 5, or even 6 figures a month. Watch this free video that will show you this commission loophole that puts 100% direct into your bank account. Go right now and type this in your address bar, instantresidualsystem.com, and get for free how to get up to 30 members per month, earn thousands while you sleep at night, and recruit without ever having to pick up the phone. That's instantresidualsystem.com.
What if you invested in MJ before he was MJ? What if you owned Carrie before she was an idol?
Football trades here. Racing trades here. Music trades here. Movies trade here. Everything you talk about, everything you think about, all trade here. People are real. The money's real. The profits are real. So will you cash in big on the FSA stock exchange? Sign up now and get started. Check your portfolio. Search out the next big star and make it play. Real money, real profits. The FSA Stock Exchange. It pays to play. Start trading now. www.fsastockexchange.com.
They say there are only two short things in life: death and taxes. At insuranceassurance.net, we know there's a third one, a website that'll give you the 411 on what you need to make great assurance decisions.
When you log into assuranceassurance.net, you can get user reviews, informational videos, and everything else you need to research and insure. Just call your login to insuranceassurance.net. Once again, insuranceassurance.net. Log in today.
All right, we are back live, the MCM Sports Show with Abel, Tovar, and Brian Rose. And we are with Matt Molly, the owner of the Locker Room.
Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for guys being here. Thank you.
All right, so when did you come up with the idea of the Locker Room? Where did this idea come from?
Well, I'm into sports, as you can plainly see. I mean, it's football all day in here, so I've been playing football all my life. So we kind of sat around and thought about it. Me, my wife, and two of my friends. Anthony, he's in here, and Gil, he's not here. We actually thought about it and came up with an idea that it would be cool to have a sports barbershop that, people and kids can come and get their hair cut on, on a daily basis and feel comfortable in here.
Oh, that's okay. So I see that you have a Chicago Bears outfit on.
Oh,
that they are your favorite team. So where do you see them going this year? What's your prediction on their record-wise?
They're the NFC champs this year. And no doubt, I mean, without Cutler getting hurt last year, we'd have walked into it. That was just a given. Now with Brandon Marshall, Jason Campbell's a backup, Michael Bush is backup forte. There's a lot of trouble going on in this division.
So what do you think about Green Bay? You can't just dismiss Green Bay. You can't dismiss the Super Bowl champions. What about them?
Green Bay's draft, you see what they drafted because they scared of Chicago. All their draft was all defense. I mean, I would have done it too when I seen Brandon Marshall and Cutler coming back together. I would have got some help. They moved Charles Woodson to safety.
All right. So how long have you been open?
We've been open since, I want to say May, about the beginning of May.
Okay. So you specialize in cuts, fades. What type of haircuts you specialize in?
Fades, tapers, bald tapers. We do the faux hawks. We do everybody's hair. This is a multicultural shop. We do everybody. Kids, old, young, it doesn't matter. Ladies want to come in here with short hair, they can get cut up too.
All right. Actually, when I was in here getting cut the other week, I did see a lady with the shaved head getting the cut up in here. So let everybody know the address and your hours of operation, man.
Address is 2050 South Bascom Avenue in Campbell, California. It's close to the prune yard. We're open Monday by appointment only and Tuesday through Saturday, 8:30 until the last player leaves.
All right, so we want to keep you on for our fan segment. Is that cool?
Hey, that's fine.
All right. So this is our fan interaction. What say you? Brought to you by Badoogie.com. Sell your goods online for only $1, even if it sells for $1,000. Badoogie.com. That's BEAUDOOGIE.com. So we asked this question last week, and it got a lot of reaction on Facebook and on YouTube. What is America's favorite sport? Everybody, well, the old people will say, hey, it's baseball. But I have to say it's football. With the ratings, even though basketball ratings this year were amazing, but I still have to think it's football.
So let me ask you then, if we had, let's say, all on one day, Game 7, NBA Finals, Game 7 of a World Series, Super Bowl, got a super heavyweight fight.
Oh,
what would you pick? What would be your sport of choice? No DVR. You got to watch one. You're going to miss the other ones. What's your choice?
Oh, I'd have to go with Super Bowl, no doubt. There's no doubt about it. That's the best watched sport to me ever. I mean, you get together on a Sunday to watch that game. It's beer, family, friends, and tough hitting gridiron football.
There you go.
So I completely agree because honestly, even ratings-wise, I don't know. You guys know Rob Parker from ESPN?
Yeah.
Okay. On Twitter, me and Rob get into arguments quite often when we go back and forth because he's a baseball purist. And to him, baseball is the greatest sport ever. So me and him go back and forth because every time he says that, I go, all right, well, tell me the ratings. And he always throws attendance in my face. But that's not fair because you can't compare 162 games to 16. So I tell them, all right, give me the ratings for a game. And I don't hear back from that. I've yet to hear back a response, but that's how I go. I go ratings, Super Bowl. It's going to be rated higher over any of those other sports. It's just the way I choose. I mean, like you said, it's a day. It's an event. Yeah. You know, advertising, it's most expensive during
and
Super
betting,
Bowl.
betting.
Oh, exactly.
And
oh,
fantasy betting.
We can't forget about that.
Americans, we love to bet. That's what we do. So, what state, since we have the Olympics going on, do you think, especially with basketball, do you think winning an Olympic gold is better than winning like a national title, like the national NBA title, that ring that you get when you win it for that year, or getting that gold medal around your neck that no one can take that away from you?
That gold medal.
Yeah.
Most definitely. It's individual achievement. You know, you go with a basketball, you go with, baseball, football. It's a team sport. It takes a number of guys as a unit to play. You go out there in the Olympics, you're on your own.
Yeah.
I mean, you go out there, you train hard all year. It takes 4 or 5 years to get out there. You get out there, you may have, depending on the race, seconds.
Yeah.
And it depends on you. I mean, you go out there at your best, you gotta be your best. Nobody else can run it for you. Nobody else can be there for you.
Yeah.
So definitely that gold medal. That's got to be one of the biggest achievements for somebody to grab. Is a gold medal. You're best in the world. Not just, NBA, you're just best in America. World Series, you're just best in America. You run 100 meters and you win, you're the best in the world. You're the fastest man in the world.
Yeah.
Big difference there. Gold medal all day.
And I was watching this interview. Was it Lolo Jones? My boy has his favorite runner. And she was saying, I trained 4 years for this 12 seconds. 4 years for 12 seconds, and she didn't medal. But she was saying the hard work that she put in for 4 years for 12 seconds of satisfaction, and she still couldn't medal.
She spent more time talking about her virginity than she did anything. Now, what you need to do is shut up and get out on that track and run hard. Okay, you want to get in the media, you want to boost your sponsors, you want to get paid, but you came in 4th place.
Yeah.
She's pretty and all, but run a little faster.
Yeah.
Train a little harder.
So, with the Olympics now, okay, Michael Phelps, he has 20-something gold medals, 21 gold medals is ridiculous. He has the most gold medals for an Olympian, but do you consider him as a top Olympian?
He's a top Olympian, but as best ever, definitely not. No, I mean, that's the only sport you're going to grab 8 in a whole Olympics. You're going to grab 8, 9 Olympics in medals in just one session.
Event. Yeah.
I mean, no, you can go all the way back to the 70s when the San Jose State boys ran. And they shattered the records, and they went up there. I mean, there's a lot of Olympians out there. Bruce Jenner was good. He defied the odds.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys out there that defied the odds. He just had a chance to do it because of the number of medals.
Yeah.
I just think it's the number of medals that added up, Is he one of the greatest swimmers? Yeah, most definitely. But not the greatest Olympian. Definitely not. Not yet. I don't know. Usain Bolt is pushing it.
Yeah, to me, it's somebody who's changing the game, who's saying, okay, now the kids who are 12 or 13 years old who are training to do that, they're erasing their boards like you see in that commercial, and they're writing down that new time. For Michael Phelps, he just won the medals, and some of those were within 100th of a second. As far as Bolt, that guy's cruising into the finish line and breaking world records. I haven't seen anything like that. I like to see him run 100% from start to finish. So I think of guys like Michael Johnson who did it, Usain Bolt, Carl Lewis, probably one of the greatest Olympians to me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Some of those Olympians now, they're just young. You're talking 14, 15 years old, and they're getting in there and they're winning gold medals. I mean, the genes now are very, very good.
Yeah.
They're very, very good.
All right, so coming up next, we're going to talk about what's going on in the world of sports the last week, get you guys caught up on all the action. Thanks for joining us, Matt.
Hey, thank you for having me.
All right.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Coming up next, we're talking about what's going on in the week of sports on the MCM Sports Shit. Men, do you need to get a gift for your lady? Glamorous wine carriers are the perfect gift. Great for anniversary presents, birthdays, maybe you messed up and need a way to say sorry. We have tons of styles and fun designs for everyone. The ladies at Glamorous Doodads design and handcraft incredible gifts like wine accessories, handmade jewelry, and many more luxurious gift items. Never before seen items like cowboy boot wine carriers, lipstick wine carriers, and martini totes, complete with the glass holders and some incredibly unique gifts you'll find only at Glamorous Doodads. Not many boutiques these days specialized in feature products made here in the USA, much less handcrafted in the fabulous Las Vegas. For more information, please check out their website, glamorousdoodads.com. That's glamorousdoodads.com, or give them a call at 702-366-0399. 702-366-0399. Ladies, you will love Glamorous Doodads, and men, your ladies will love you for stopping in. Don't serve your wine naked, dress it up. Lucid Mind Marketing. Lucid, easily understood, completely intelligible or comprehensible, characterized by clear perception or understanding, rational or sane, shining bright, clear, and transparent. Mind, in the human or other conscious being the element, part, substance, or process that reasons, thinks, feels, wills, perceives, and is in a totality of conscious and unconscious mental process. Marketing, the total of activities involved in the transfer of goods or services from the producer or seller to the customer or buyer, including advertising, shipping, storing, and selling. People are either stuck in one place in the middle in regards to internet marketing and their future, or they have mastered the art and remaining open to new ideas. Where are you in this process right now? If you think you're still lucid, if you have your mind in the middle, even in all this economic chaos, and you're still passionate about marketing, go to lucidmindmarketing.com. That's lucidmindmarketing.com. However you define your future, one thing is for sure: better is not good enough, and exceptional times require exceptional creativity. lucidmindmarketing.com. Stay lucid. Imagine if you can have a sports betting system that can truly be profitable over the course of 11 years, no matter if your team is winning or losing. Sound great? I bet it does. Today, zcodesystem.com is really excited to share their results with you and show you how you can win with them. Visit zcodesystem.com/winning_picks. So it's zcodesystem.com/winning_picks. So we're going to revisit the week in sports on the MCM Sports Show. Let's first touch on Andy Reid. He lost his son recently. His son did have problems with alcohol and drugs. They thought they solved it, but maybe he had a relapse. And I wouldn't even release the toxology report if I were them. Keep that kind of stuff in-house.
Well, it hasn't been released yet. And, you know, our prayers go out to him because he had the funeral yesterday, and one day later he's already back out at practice and ready to coach, because he knows that's what his son would want.
Yeah. So just a couple of quotes that he said. I'm not a football coach. That's what I do. And I know my son wouldn't want it any other way. I can't put it to you any more frank than that. He loved the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's what he would want me to do. Talking about how he went to the funeral, and the next day he was out there coaching the team at training camp. And he is going to be on the sidelines for the first preseason game. Some people deal with grief different ways, you know. Some people, they have to go to work, or if that's something they love, or do some sort of hobby to keep their mind off what just happened. And that's his vice. So I applaud him for that. So Tom Brady, he came out with a statement saying, "I want to play past 40 years old." And I feel how you feel about the Raiders is how I feel about the New England Patriots, to be quite honest with you.
Good, so we play till he's 50.
He
plays till he's 50, 55.
And to the point where he's already, 35 now, 36. And just the point, I'm going to see him at least another 5 years is sickening. Especially that coach. Everyone thinks he's a genius. He's not. Tom Brady made
it. It's brilliant.
Well, his record before Tom Brady was a losing record. By far. So what do you think about him playing past 40,
I don't
man?
see why he can't do it. I mean, he's not a scrambling quarterback, so he's a pocket quarterback, and even though he's athletic, he's not a mobile quarterback.
Oh, he's like
so when he runs, he's like a snail. Yeah. So I mean, as long as he can stay on his feet, stay in the pocket, step up when he has to, avoid big vicious hits, which he's been good at so far. I don't see why he can't do it. I mean, if Brett Favre can do it, and Brett Favre took a lot more punishment because Brett Favre scrambled a lot more.
Yeah.
Tom Brady could do it.
Yeah.
And still excel at the age of 40 or 41.
I mean, you think about it. Was it Vinny Testaverde was 40? Doug Flutie, I think, was over 40. Were their seasons that great after that time frame? No. But hey, if he can do it at a high level, why not?
He can play. I wouldn't say he's going to win a Super Bowl. If he's going to win a Super Bowl, I'd say it'd either have to be this year or next year, and that would be his window for that. But I think he could still play.
Okay. And out in quarterback land, we had Brandon Weeden named the starter over McCoy. Now, McCoy didn't impress anybody. He was drafted too high, or highly sought, I should say, out of college. Never played to his potential. Was he given a chance? Yeah, he was given a chance. He just didn't play to his potential. Now Brandon Weeden comes here and outperforms him and takes the starting job.
Now with Brandon Weeden taking the starting job for the Cleveland Browns, I wouldn't say that's a big old pat on the back for him. I mean, he's 28 years old, so
yeah,
he should be able to grasp things a lot quicker than younger quarterbacks like McCoy. I mean, to me, like you said, Colt McCoy, I thought was drafted a little too high and never thought he was going to make it in the NFL. Now, whether Brandon Weeden is or isn't is still yet to be determined. I think he's actually going to do better than Colt McCoy, but I don't think it's going to be a major improvement for the Browns overall. I mean, they're looking at starting a rookie quarterback, a rookie running back, and probably a rookie number one receiver.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a tough year for Cleveland, and Cleveland fans, with Trenton going down and a new rookie coming in, our quarterback, they don't have anybody to throw to. It's going to be tough for Cleveland fans this year, but it's tough for Cleveland fans every year, right? So I think this year is going to be the same type of deal for them. But I think Brandon Weeden is a plus side. If they have anything to look forward to, it's him, and they need to take advantage of it pretty fast. Like you said, he is 28 years old.
But yeah, exactly. If he's going to excel, he has to do it now. He doesn't get the same kind of curve that Colt McCoy got because Colt McCoy was young, and he had that excuse, well, he's a young quarterback learning the system.
Yeah.
Brandon Weeden's 28. He has to excel now because most quarterbacks start to hit their prime around this age, and he's coming into the league, so he's going to have to learn fast and perform well.
And also, Terrell Owens, not only did he impress the Seahawks, he impressed them so much where he got a contract. It is a one-year deal. They haven't disclosed the incentives of the deal yet, which I'm pretty sure it's.
I think it's like a 1 year, $1 million.
Okay,
that's it. So he's not going to see a penny of that. Too much child support, so he's done. He's playing for free.
Yeah, and he owes $200,000 already in back support.
Yeah,
he's
screwed on that.
I think he's going to do well in Seattle. The only thing is who's going to throw to him. Can he throw to him consistently? Is he going to get upset when he's open and that the quarterback can't get him the ball in the right position? There's a lot of what ifs, but all in all, I think he'd be all right.
I think honestly, out of all his receivers, maybe besides Baldwin, he's going to produce the most. He's 38 years old, but he's a freakish athlete. The shape he's in is ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't take him on my team just because the Niners are stacked, and a lot of teams. The reason he didn't play last year is because a lot of teams didn't have that need at wide receiver. This situation in Seattle is actually perfect for him, with the carousel at quarterback and the lack of depth at receiver. It works out perfectly for him because it's not like there's an established quarterback that's going to expect a lot. They're going to have the receivers ready, like a Chad Ochocinco in New England. Brady was established. Ochocinco, it was determined you got to be on Brady's page.
Yeah.
Terrell can kind of go out here and just play the game.
Yeah.
Whatever comes his way, he just has to make the most of it, and I feel he will because I know he is hungry and being after he's gone through a lot. I mean, the whole the Dr. Phil mess, the being he needs money. Yeah. Being kicked off the Wranglers and
losing his ownership.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's been embarrassing for him. So he has to come out and he has to prove something, not only to himself but to a lot of people that he could still be productive and that maybe people should have took a chance on him earlier.
Yeah, and also with the addition of Edwards, I think. Especially Pete Carroll, you look at his years when he was at USC, he always had that big receiver for his quarterback to throw to. Now he has two of them. I think they'll be okay. Brandon Edwards will be okay. He only had one off-the-field issue. It wasn't that big. Was it DUI? something like that. So I think it'll be okay. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like Terrell and Braylon are playing for the same position. I don't think both of them are going to make the roster. I think it's going to be either or, and I think Terrell Owens is going to take that spot.
Yeah, I don't think Edwards he's definitely not fast enough to play the slot. He could play the 2, and Terrell Owens and Rice, of course, I think going to make the 1 and 2. So maybe you're right there.
Well, they both got the same skill set. You know, the big wide receivers. But and honestly, Braylon has age going for him. He's only like 29 years old. But Terrell, if it's a 1-year deal and they want somebody that's going to perform this year, I say Terrell Owens gets that spot. But if they want somebody that they can kind of hope to revive over maybe a 3-4 year career, then they go with Braylon. Yeah,
because Braylon's only 28, 29 years old, so he still has some years left in him. Terrell is 38, 10 years older. So usually on our third segment, we go to a MCR Sports Local Edition, but since we already touched on that in a heated argument, we're going to jump to Olympic review. Since we had pretty much most of the Olympics already done, there's still basketball, women's and men's, and I think there's beach volleyball in it today. So I think basketball is really the only main thing, and a couple of track and field events left. So we'll run you down the gold medal total. China has 77, United States has 81, but the main thing is China still has the most golds at 36, and we have 34. So it's surprising that China, you wouldn't think, but they have a lot of athletic people there.
Well, it's always us and them at the top for the medal count, especially for the gold.
But usually not this late, though. That's pretty impressive. This late in the game, they still have 77 total.
Well, I know we got one coming for basketball. I mean, that's a given.
For both.
Oh,
so
yeah, exactly.
The USA basketball team, man, today Kobe went off in the third and fourth quarter, 5 straight threes, even though he had a bad first half. But it seems like, just like in the NBA, the players that have a good game, then they have a bad game. They have a good game, then they have a bad game. That inconsistency, even in USA basketball, is kind of hand in hand with the NBA game.
But see, that's because of today's players. They're lackadaisical. Their effort's not there. Like, this is why I don't like the comparisons between this team and the 92 Dream Team, because the 92 Dream Team never let off. They wanted to destroy everybody they came across, and they wanted to send a message. This team isn't like that. They kind of, play around for the first half and then turn it on in third, fourth quarters.
Yeah.
And which is fine. I mean, they can do it. They have the talent, especially to lock down people defensively. But to me, the comparisons aren't fair because of that mentality, which you see in the NBA today. It's the same way. Players kind of coast until a certain time.
Yeah. I mean, well, they know they're better than the competition, and it's hard to keep that focus. Well, they do more so in football, keep that focus, than they do in basketball. But you could just tell that the defensive pressure, when they want to turn it on, it's amazing. Teams can't even sometimes get past half court. Teams can't even run a pick and roll against them when they're on defensively, which is pretty awesome to watch. But yeah, it is frustrating to seeing teams like Australia be within 5 points in the beginning of the third quarter.
Exactly, and that's the part I have a problem with too. It just sends a bad message, and you see it too in the NBA. Like when you see bad teams upset a good team for that same exact reason.
Yeah.
I just don't think any of these Olympic teams have the talent that it would take to cause a major upset, but they still take the same mentality where they can kind of coast and then turn it on when they want. And being Laker fans, that gets us into problems because we had Laker teams that did that coasted for the whole regular season and thought they could turn it on playoff time and, bit them in the ass later on.
Yeah, we thought we were going to win 4 championships in a row and cruise in that, bitterness. But so we're live at the locker room. We're going to try to do this every week here, get it live for you guys. Next week, we're going to break down the other 2 divisions out west. So you guys stay tuned to that. We'll see you next week on the MCM Sports Show with Brian Rose.
Have a great week, everybody.
And Abel Tovar.
Come visit the locker room here at 2050 South Bascom Avenue in Campbell.
Peace.